going to share my screen again. We'll do a take two. Okay, let me know if you can see the wheel of names in front of you right now. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Take two. Thank you for telling me that, by the way. All right, take two. So first name doesn't count. I'm not going to tell you who it was. Wheel of names. Here we go. Let's see who the winner is for the book. Must be on the call. Kendra Corman. And I believe, Kendra, you are on the call. Kendra, I'll get your information afterwards and mail you that copy of the book. So that's a lot of fun. It's called wheelofnames.com. If you guys are ever trying to do a prize drawing, highly recommend it. All you do is copy names and then you paste it in there and automatically creates the wheel. It's a lot of fun for giveaways. So we're going to be here today talking about top 10 LinkedIn strategies for 2021. And this is going to be a pretty quick presentation. We've got about a half hour left and we want to allow for some time for Q&A. So I'm going to keep us to about 15, maybe 20 minutes tops, and then we'll have some time for Q&A. I do have the handout. I will be sending it to Stella so you can get that afterwards. And this is being recorded and broadcast live on Facebook so you can watch this later. Now, the top 10 LinkedIn strategies for 2021, some of these are traditional techniques that you might not be doing yet. And some of these are just newer techniques because of everything we're working through right now with online networking and LinkedIn being even more important than ever because all networking is occurring online. So I'll be bringing you different techniques and I've categorized them into 3 areas. And I like to kind of use acronyms. So I'm using the acronym PI, no surprise, right? And the 3 areas we'll be focusing on today, the P stands for profile optimization. So I'm going to give you a couple of techniques that are going to help you to optimize your profile on LinkedIn. While I'm on that subject, I want to encourage, if you have your phone, pull up your profile on the LinkedIn app because that will be helpful when we start going through those tips. The second area is invitation strategy. So that's the I, invitation strategy. And the third E is engagement with your network. Okay, so those are kind of the areas we'll be going through. P is profile optimization, I is invitation strategy, and E is engagement within your network. Feel free to take pictures as I'm going along, but and post on social media, tag me and tag Inforum if you guys could do that as well. All right, so my very first tip, we're going to look at your profile. And I just want you guys to look at your profile photo right now, okay? Look at your photo and think about the fact that over the past year, we've done so many Zoom meetings and people can tell what we look like today, circa today, right? So look at your profile photo and I want you to kind of, just think about, does it look like you today? And maybe not the best version of you if you haven't done your hair and makeup, but it should look like you today. So if you don't have a current photo, meaning it hasn't been taken in the past 5 years, it's even more important now than ever that you get a new photo. There are headshot photographers out there. They are taking photos. They're doing the social distancing, masking, all that good stuff. So you can't use that as an excuse. If budget is an issue, do what I do. Have a family member take your photo of you with a nice clean background, maybe outside if you've got some greenery, that type of thing, but look like your photo. So that's my first tip. You need to look current, okay? My second tip involves your contact information. Now, if you're looking at your profile on desktop, your contact info is this little link right underneath your headline. If you're looking at your profile on mobile, you have to scroll all the way down to the bottom to see your contact info, okay? So get to your contact info right now. And I want you just to review and make sure everything is accurate. It sounds like simple, but you would not believe how many times I go into contact info and I click on a web link and it's not valid. Or they have a Twitter account that they haven't posted in 5 years, or they have recently changed jobs and their former employer is listed in there in the contact information section. So make sure everything is accurate in there. While you're in here, I would highly encourage you to use websites. I like to think of myself as an opportunistic marketer. So if LinkedIn gives me 3 spaces for websites, I'm going to use all 3 spaces. And I don't just put my homepage. I think about where are the 3 places I want to send people. So my 3 areas of focus right now are my book, my webinar series, and then getting myself booked for events and presentations. So those are the 3 links that I use. In the contact info section, guys, if you click on the pencil icon, you'll see a little link that will say add website. When you put your website in here, make sure that you choose the word other instead of company, because I just want to show you this on screen real quick. If I were to choose, I'm just going to copy this so I don't lose it. If I were to choose company and then I click on save, you'll see it just says mellermarketing.com company website. Well, that's kind of boring. If instead you choose other, then you get another box, and then you can put in that box whatever you want, 30 characters or less. Little bonus tip, okay? So use the 3 websites, make sure everything is accurate. Look at your contact info at least once a year, okay? Making sure that you have reviewed it. That's my second tip, to review your contact info. My third tip is to advertise in your header. And I'm talking about this rectangular box that appears behind your headshot photo on LinkedIn. And there's a default, which is like a teal gray. Actually, it's like a grayish greenish. It looks like a landscape flipped on its side. That reminds me, like when I drive by a highway billboard and it says this space available for rent, it's like it's not being used, right? I like to use that space behind my headshot photo to advertise something about me, my business, a product or service that I'm promoting right now. At minimum, if you're working, it should have some company branding in it. But I like to think about promoting something about my business in there. And sometimes I put LinkedIn tips in there. Right now I'm promoting my book. That's my top thing that I'm working on. So think about what is the top product or service that you're looking to promote. Think about putting that up in your header. So that's my third tip, to advertise in your header. And I even will swap out images and words in there. If at minimum, I would suggest you do that about once a year, but really maybe once a quarter or even once a month. Putting different information in there will cause people to stop and look at it again. If you keep the same header in there forever, we're going to ignore it. Okay, so just think about swapping that out. The same thing that people do on the side of those highway billboards. They swap out messages, they put new advertisers in there. Think about doing that on your header as well. So that's my third tip, to advertise in your header. My fourth tip, and this has been around now, I think a little over a year, maybe going on 2 years now even, the featured section, but you might not have it enabled on your profile yet. So this featured section is a really neat section on your profile, and it brings large visibility to specific items of your choosing. If it is not yet enabled, you'll have to click on Add Profile section at the top of your profile. And then underneath featured, you'll see a little plus button that will look something like the plus button I have right here, okay? And then it will say, what do you want to feature? And I would highly encourage you to pick maybe 2 or 3 items minimum to showcase in this section. If you click on the plus button, you can see that you can feature a post. So if there's something that you recently posted on LinkedIn, all you need to do is just click on that star icon and it'll move it into the featured section. You can also feature articles, which are LinkedIn blogs that you have written. You can feature links to external websites, YouTube channels, your portfolio, samples, whatever. Or you could upload media, and that could be a PDF document. It could be a JPEG or picture or a document of some sort. So think about featured the same way you think about the end cap in a grocery store, okay? Those get really great visibility, right? They put the Hostess Twinkies on there one week and you throw them in your cart, and the next week they're putting like Nutri-Grain bars and you're grabbing those, right? So think about featured. What is it that you're trying to promote for your business? And I like to think of that the same way as the grocery store. They will rotate items out of those end caps. The same thing for featured. Think about rotating new items in there every week. So that's my fourth tip, to activate your featured section. My fifth tip involves your about statement. And I like to think about your about statement is this is your opportunity to tell your story to your ideal target audience, okay? It should not be written the same way as your resume, because remember, the goal of a resume is to get a job. The goal of your LinkedIn profile for most of us is to do business networking with other people, to tell other people how we're using LinkedIn to connect with the right people that could be possible referral or lead opportunities for us. Now, LinkedIn gives you 2,600 characters, but the most important are those first 3 lines. Look at your about statement right now. Look at it on desktop and mobile. Look and see where the see more break occurs. Consider the fact that most people will not click on see more. Okay, so if we think about it that way, what do you see in those first 3 lines? Is it interesting? Is it compelling? Okay, I like to put something that's a little bit of a hook in there. You know, I'm saying, I love helping people unlock the power of LinkedIn. How I'm different. I'm an experienced marketer who gets LinkedIn. Want to amplify your LinkedIn 2021 results? Follow me and keep reading, right? So I'm trying to keep you going, and I want to get you to click on see more. So think about focusing on those first 3 lines of your about statement before the see more. And remember that most people are not going to click on it. So make sure that it is interesting, compelling, written in that first person to your ideal target audience. Okay, so that's my 5th tip, and that finishes off our section on profile optimization. We're going to move on now to a conversation about your invitation strategy. You can't just have a good profile on LinkedIn. That's not going to do it for you. You're not going to get a bigger slice of LinkedIn just by having a great profile. You also have to practice good invitation techniques. And one of the most common mistakes I'm seeing lately with invitations is pitching, right? The salesperson who right away in their invitation to connect is saying, they're pitching their business. Hey, I can help you to reduce your business costs and my accounting software, blah, blah, blah. Here's my Calendly link. Here's this other, like, it's such a big turnoff to do that. And the other mistake I see is no invitation note at all being sent out. And I, as I'm going through my LinkedIn right now, I'm seeing a bunch of them that are in here, and there's no personalized note at all. And then there's some, I mean, this guy, no offense to Scott, but this kind of looks like it's a automated invitation. No, my name isn't even mentioned in here. Let's talk about some stale stuff we are doing. So that's about Scott, not about me, right? Hit me back. Thanks, Scott. I'm like, hit me back. What are we in a band together? I mean, what is that? It feels a little bit too casual, and I don't know who he is. And he looks like he's selling to me at this point. So what I would recommend is that when you send out an invitation, my 6th tip is to always include a personal note. So what I would do is, visit their profile, first of all. So let me just find somebody in my LinkedIn homepage feed that I'm not connected with. So here's someone, Jenny Haas, and she is a kindness ambassador. I love that. So first thing you're going to do, you want to go on their profile. And if you haven't met them, take a moment to scroll through their profile. Find 1 or 2 items that are interesting or something that is just jumping out at you. And I like the kindness ambassador thing. So I'm going to click on connect, and I'm going to add a note. So you always, always, always want to add a note. And it doesn't need to be overly complex. Like, here's my formula. Hi, first name. So I'm going to say, hi, Jenny. And in this case, if I haven't met, I'm going to say, we haven't met yet, but we share several common connections. Whoops, common connections. I'm actually typing live right now. Can you believe that? Including an Eric. I can't remember Eric's last name. I'm blanking on it right now. I'm going to drop that off because I can't remember his last name right now. But I'm going to say we know several common connections, and I love your kindness ambassador. I'm just going to mention that. Mention in your headline. So I've mentioned something we have in common, which is common connections. And I'm also mentioning something I'm reading from her profile, right? And I mean, guys, this does not take very long at all. This may take 15, 20 seconds top. You can spend the time to do this. And this invitation is all about Jenny. It's not about me. It's not about what I'm selling. I'm not trying to sell her LinkedIn strategy services or my book or anything. I'm just trying to connect. The goal is to get her to accept the invitation. So when you include a personal invitation that is specific to that person, you have a higher likelihood of getting that invitation accepted. And then after they accept, you can send a follow-up note. And that's my 7th tip. And this is a thing I see frequently people forgetting to do or not even thinking about doing. After they accept an invitation, you want to message them back. And, thank them for accepting the invitation, and then maybe just a soft sales pitch, if you will, or something kind of subtle. And it might be something, I've got a lot of congratulations notes because I put a board opportunity yesterday, so I can't find one right now, but a quick note, it might say something like, thanks, Michael, for accepting my invitation. Let me know if you ever have any LinkedIn strategy questions. That's it. Drop the mic, walk away. That's it. That's my sales pitch, you guys. I'm not a salesperson at all, but that's it. So think about something related to your business. For Kendra, it might be, thanks, Michael, for accepting my invitation. Let me know if you ever have any marketing strategy questions. And that's it. And they know what you do. They know why you approach them now. If they do, they'll maybe reach out and say, actually, I do. What do you think about email marketing in 2021 or whatever, right? So it's a conversation starter. You're building dialogue. And that's key. After we connect, we're not just connecting and forgetting, but we want to, after they accept, we want to send a follow-up note. Okay. So thank them, tell them a bit about your business. And, you could even say, if you ever like more info, let me know. That's it. But I do that at the 2nd level. I don't do that in the initial invitation. Okay. So that's my 7th tip for you guys. And I'm going to finish off here with a few tips on engaging with your network. And then we're going to open this up for some Q&A. And the E is engagement, the E in PI. So we talked about profile optimization was the P, I was the invitation strategy, and E is engagement with your network. So my 8th tip involves engagement with your network. And this is super simple, guys. spend 15 minutes a day in the homepage feed. If you're not doing this already, you need to start making this a part of every single business day. And I like to think about my LinkedIn homepage feed. It's a communication channel, okay? And what's another communication channel? Oh, our work email, right? That's a communication channel. You're sending out information to people. People are emailing you information. You check that at least once a day. I know you do. And if you're taking a vacation, maybe you don't check it at all. Good for you. But in an average workday, you would not neglect your work email, would you? So why are you neglecting LinkedIn? LinkedIn is a communication channel as well. People are sharing information, and they may be reading your information as well. So it is a little bit of a two-way on there. What I would recommend that you do is spend 15 minutes a day. The first thing you do on LinkedIn, scrolling through the homepage feed. And if you see something that resonates with you, this funny little frog guy, right? Give it a like or a reaction. And then maybe 2 to 3 times a day, you leave a comment of 5 or more words. Now, Jan's a good friend of mine, so I'm going to like her post. And I might just say something like, adding a comment to help spread the word. Okay. 5 or more words is key to the LinkedIn algorithm. And 5 or more words is the minimum. I kind of like to think when I ran track in high school, and I was never very good, guys, but I ran and I finished some races, and I did come in last sometimes, but I didn't always come in last. But my track coach would tell me, when you are running towards the finish line, you don't stop at the finish line. You want to run almost like 10 or 20 or 30 yards beyond, so that you're crossing the finish line at a fast pace. The same thing with your comments. Don't just aim for 5. Put like a whole sentence in there, maybe 2 sentences, maybe end with a question. So try to get some substantial comments back. What that will do is that will help that person's post stay in the homepage feed longer. And if you ask a question, you'll get some dialogue going back and forth, which in turn is going to drive profile views for you. Okay. If you have an optimized profile, you're doing a good job of selling yourself, your business, you're giving calls to action in there. That's going to lead to potential leads and referrals for you. Okay. So spend 15 minutes a day in the homepage feed, add some comments of 5 or more words, reply to people, keep that going. That's going to be key for your engagement. Another tip for you, this is my tip number 9, and this is you should be posting on LinkedIn at least once a week. Like, that's the minimum. If you have not yet posted this week on LinkedIn, go onto LinkedIn today and post right after we're done with this session, and just say something like this. Attended a phenomenal LinkedIn talk by @Brenda Meller of @Meller Marketing, if you want to tag my company. Kudos to @Inforum Michigan for offering programs like this. I learned so many things that are going to help me on LinkedIn in 2021. Something like that. I'm just making it up. Post something about the events that you attend. If you can, take a picture of the speaker presenting and a screen capture and share it with your audience. And then when you tag on LinkedIn, hopefully you guys know how to do this, but I might just say, great talk by, and I'm going to tag Stella just to show you an example. Just start typing out the person's name. As soon as it appears in the drop down, you'll click on their name, right? As seen and let me show you a business name. So I'm going to type in Inforum. You do the @ and then you start typing in the business name after it. As soon as you see it appear in that drop down, you click on it, and then it becomes bold. So after I do that and I click on post, it would be clickable to Stella and it would be clickable to Inforum, so people could visit those pages. And both Stella and Inforum will get a notification that you've talked about them. Okay. So it's a super easy technique. When you're at events, use that as your opportunity to post. Take a picture, post it online, but try to post, if you can, at least once a week on LinkedIn. That's going to help to keep you visible on the platform. So important in 2021, guys. And I can't say this enough. Like, for me, I'm self-employed. I don't work for a corporation anymore. So I could easily blend into the background. People could forget about me, but they don't. Why? Because I keep myself visible. I'm always engaging with people in my LinkedIn homepage feed. I'm doing live videos. I'm posting myself, and I'm trying to post good content on there as well. And I'm building social media karma, which is my final tip for you guys, to build social media karma on LinkedIn. You may not be aware, but LinkedIn is actually not about you. It's about your network. And the power of LinkedIn is really in how you can contribute to others on the platform. I like to think of social media karma in the way that when I pay more attention to people on LinkedIn, Despina, Andrea, Evelyn, Sarah, Danielle, Kathy Jo, Carol, when I talk about you, when I post pictures of you and your events, when I talk about your businesses, when I shine the spotlight on other people, or when I just comment on your posts, Or maybe I go into your profile and I give you endorsements for your skills. I give you a recommendation. I'm building up social media karma. And I'm not doing that with any expectation that you're going to return that to me. But I know that the universe has a way of working these things out. And karma, if you pay into the network, it will pay you back. So if you're not getting results on LinkedIn right now, I want you to think about, what are you doing on the platform? Are you using it selfishly for yourself, or are you using it to help others on the platform as well? So a simple technique: go on their profile, endorse them for skills. So what I like to do is focus on the top 3 skills that the person has on their profile. You do need to be first level connections. Stella, I hope you don't mind, I'm using you as an example. But what I would do is go down to her skills section, just click on the plus, and I don't go through all the rigmarole. How do you know it? How good is she at it? I just click on the plus. So that took what, 5 seconds? Not too long to do it all. And as you visit people's profiles, just spend a minute going into their skills section and giving them a quick endorsement. I'm going to do the same thing for Denise right now. This is building social media karma. And you know what the cool thing is? When you give people endorsements, they get an email, rather a messaging notification on LinkedIn. And Denise will get a notification saying, Brenda endorsed you for coaching, leadership, and 2 other skills. What's Denise going to do? Probably she's going to message me back and say, hey, thanks, Brenda, for giving me endorsements, right? And I don't do this to get endorsements from Denise. I do this to build social media karma. I know she's busy. She probably doesn't have time to endorse me right now, but I'm doing this because I want to stay on her radar, right? And I also want to do this because I believe in Denise and in the things that she's doing for her business. Endorse their skills. You could also give people recommendations on LinkedIn. You could comment on their posts. There's a lot of different things that we can do to help to build that social media karma on LinkedIn. All right, guys. So with that, these were just some quick hit top 10 LinkedIn strategies for 2021. We are going to be online and virtual for a while longer, but even afterwards, LinkedIn is still going to be an important network. It is the place that people will go and look you up. Even if you're not active on the platform, they're going to look you up on LinkedIn. So I can't say enough how it's important to build and optimize your profile on LinkedIn, to really use invitation strategy more strategically, sending out a personal note, making it all about them, and then following up afterwards, and then really focusing on engagement within your network. So spending some time in the homepage feed, posting on LinkedIn, and then think about building up social media karma. All right, so that's it for our presentation. I hope you found that helpful. I'm actually going to stop the live feed right now, and then we're going to move into some Q&A. So I just want to thank anyone who's been watching us on Facebook Live. Thank you so much. We're going to stop this, and I'll include my contact information if you're watching and you have some additional questions, since we won't get to you. So give me just a second to stop the live feed. I got to move the navigation around, stop the share here, and then I need to stop the live feed here.